Okay, now this is the age of Aquarius. And if you take Mark Kearney of Canada, right, earlier he was with the Americans. He was with the deep state, but he has broken away. And he has said that middle powers has to come together. Not necessarily, because in my way of thinking that America is not a superpower. America is deficient. When you look at their consumption pattern, they are deficient in entropic capital. So they have to steal that entropic capital from other countries, other regions and countries. Whereas Canada, about 30 million people or something like that. It's 35 or 30 million people. But it's you can't call it a superpower. But as far as entropic capital is concerned, it's a superpower. Okay, so it doesn't need to be another superpower. And so if you look at now America, the biggest enemy of America is Canada, not Iran, not Russia, not China or anything like that. That's the biggest enemy, because if the Canadians break away from America, then America is gone. Now, if you take Putin wants to have some agreement with America. That means he's still a Newtonian economist. He doesn't accept this thermodynamical economics. So he wants to have agreement. The Chinese, it's not sure. Chinese wanted to have a good relation with the white people, but I'm not sure about that anymore. Because what is driving Chinese is this 100 years of humiliation. Then, when America wanted to hit the Houthis challenged the American aircraft carriers, and they did damage to American aircraft carriers. So I think if you have a war between America and Iran, the first 3 days Iran will suffer, but Iran has to do something, because in Yemen 1 million people have died because of the bombing by Saudi Arabia and UAE, and now there is a drift between Saudi Arabia and UAE, so that alliance is not there. But the biggest challenge to America is Canada, not in my way of looking at it. In my way of looking at this entropic capital or thermodynamical economics, they are the biggest threat to America, not Russia or China. Okay, they are the biggest threat, and I think we are going to have this age of Aquarius is coming into being, and that will be assured by Canada, not Russia or not. Russians and the Chinese will be helpful, but it will be assured by Canada. And Donald Trump is furious with the Canadians, and Mark Kearney doesn't understand the strength of Canada. I mean, his economics is, I mean, I think he studied the PhD was done in either Oxford or Cambridge or some other place, but his early education was in America, but his economics are Newtonian economics. I don't subscribe to Newton, but I think earlier he was with, but then recently at Davos, then he made a speech typical of an Aquarian, right? But he is not sure about his strength, the Canadian strength. In my way of looking at, Canada is the biggest enemy. Earlier Canadians supplied the entropic capital, necessary entropic capital to America, USA, and after this get together at Davos, then Donald Trump was isolated, right? Donald Trump was isolated. So, if it's very easy for Iran to whack America, they have to sink one of those aircraft carriers. They have to damage one of those aircraft carriers. If you do that, the Americans will fall back. Right? That's what happened in. I just forgot about it, and I think most people have forgotten about it. That's what happened with the Houthis, with Yemen. That's what happened. In Yemen, about 1 million people have died because of the bombing by Saudi Arabia, and the British have bombed from time to time. It is they have bombed from time to time. RAF, Royal Air Force, has bombed it from time to time. Okay, the history is that. If you go to the socialist website, you can know about this history of British bombing of Yemen. Okay, so I totally forgot about why the Americans. One of the reasons why they withdrew from engaging with the Houthis, because they were a threat to the American carriers. Now, America wanted to get the Saudis or other countries, Turkey or other countries, get involved in this war. But most of the countries in West Asia doesn't like to get involved, so they have to use the aircraft carriers to fight the Iranians. So I think it is Iran will suffer for the first 2-3 days. They will suffer, but they can come on top. They can easily defeat. Defeat means they can defeat for Iran is not. Victory for Iran is to survive, not to defeat America. If one of the American aircraft carriers are damaged or destroyed, if they have to withdraw, then it's all over for America, okay, and all over for Israel too. So I think initially there will be a lot of damage for the Iranians, but I think they know what to do. I think they have weapons and new weapons to deal with these aircraft carriers, because aircraft carriers are vulnerable, especially with drones and things. And when the Houthis attacked them, they used drones and missiles. They didn't have very sophisticated, high-powered, very heavy-duty weapons. Without that, even they attacked him. So you have to look at this little bit of astrology also, age of Aquarius. Now you have few people, Rasputin, he didn't do much astrology, but then you have this Baba, right? And then you have this Nostradamus. Now Nostradamus didn't, when he talked about Aquarius, he didn't mention directly, from what I know. He mentioned it in from indirect way, and he has predicted about this. And when he come to 2026, if you are interested in astrology, you can, if you then ඔයා මේ බටහිරට ගැති වෙලා එනවා නම් ඒ ජ්‍යොතිෂය ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරනවා ඒක ඔයාගේ වැඩ. අනිත් එක මේමයි. මේකේ ලෝකේ වෙන දෙයක් තියෙනවා නේ ඒක ඩොනල්ඩ් ට්‍රම්ප් තියෙන ඩොනල්ඩ්ගේ තාත්තාවත් ඕක වෙනස් කරන්න බෑ. I think the turning point will be in Iran. Okay. So he has not, when Nostradamus talks about Aquarius, he talks directly. He didn't want to. That's what they said. If you are interested in the astrology, I think you have to have at least some knowledge of what is happening in the world. Okay, that's a different dimension. මේ බටහිර මේ ජ්‍යොතිෂයේ ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරන්න එපා. ඔයාට හිතනවා ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරන්න ඒක ප්‍රතික්ෂේප. මං කියනවා ඉරානයට ගොඩක් ක්ලේසි. දැන් ඒක මේ හූටිගේ ටිකක් කල්පනා බැලුවම ඉරානයට ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම ඇමරිකාවට ඇමරිකාව පන්නලා කියන්නේ ඔය එක නැවකට එයාක්‍රාෆ්ට් කැරියරයකට ගහන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. ගහපෙට යනවා. හරි. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා මේක ඉරානයට විශාල ඩැමේජ් එකක් වුණාට ඒගොල්ලොන්ට ඇමරිකාව පරද්දන්න කියන්නේ අමුතු විදියට නේ. ඒ ඇමරිකාකාරයෝ යනවා. හරි. දැන් ඇමරිකාව ඊශ්‍රායලයේ ගේනින්ද ගහනවා. ගැව්වට ඔය එයාක්‍රාෆ්ට් කැරියරයකට ගැව්වොත් එහෙම ඇමරිකාව ඉවරයි.